Hey guys, Give here back with another Media Next video, this time bringing you the Melee Sorceress build guide. One of the reasons I wanted to do this is because it's by popular demand. You voted on the poll. I have an idea that the next build guide will be an Unholy Caster Paladin. Stay tuned for that. Why I really wanted to do this build is because, first of all, it's insanely strong. Currently on the ladder, the rank 3 build is a Melee Sorceress build, but the gear and everything on that is just on another level. This variation that I'm doing currently is using the Melee set. It's pretty solidly viable on SSF basis. Besides that, let's get into the items. As I said, we're using the set, which is using a sword, an armor, a shield, and a coronet, which is going to be giving you pretty strong melee buffs. For example, you're going to be getting a bunch of defense, crushing blow, dexterity, damage, physical resistance, and damage avoidance, which could be pretty useful. You also get a Ward of Fate and Spiral Dance, which are there for some reason. I don't know, I've personally never used them because Ward of Fate slows way too much and Spiral Dance just sucks. I put Amethyst and Fall runes in for as much dexterity as possible on the armor pieces, and I'm using 6 char runes to get as much weapon damage as possible. For the gloves, I'm using a Hammer Fist. It's a pretty common SU gauntlets. It's gonna give you a bunch of physical damage based bonuses. For the rings, I'm using 2 Rip Stars, which is, as I said, it's completely SSF viable. It might take you some time to make these because these are relatively rare, as I say, but these are tier unique, so you can just use a bunch of arcane crystals and hope to get them. I think I had them before level 120. For the amulet, I'm using an Athula's Oracle. The best ideally would be a Dyer's Eve, but that's pretty rare, and I think I've only found it once outside of multiplayer. And for the boots, we're using a Windrunner, again, a totally SSF viable option. You just need the luck to get the runes, but I feel like it's target farmable, so it's not going to be a problem to anyone. In case you are not going to be using the melee set, you can use a Rebel rune word for your chest. It's again pretty strong physical damage based armor, and I've already farmed it out twice for the current season, so I'm completely sick of farming stone runes. I just don't want to do it for like the next 4 months. Shield, you can use the Intrepid. It's going to give you a bunch of flat physical damage, but more importantly, it's going to give you a chance to get a Bloodlust on blocking. There is a Sorceress Orb, I don't have that, which can give you Bloodlust cast. You just need a Gal rune for that, I think. No, you need a Ral rune for that, which is the enchanted Ral rune, and then like magic rune. You need a magic rune for that. I feel like all runes in this game are magical, but like whatever, don't give a fuck. For the helm, if you're not using this, you can use a Royal Circlet. It's just a bunch of dexterity, all skills, damage to undead and demons, physical resistance. It's a pretty solid helm. Or you can use the Witch Hunter's Hood, which is going to give you 2 max elemental resistances. For your non-set option for the weapon, it's a bit expensive because it uses a bunch of high enchanted runes, which is going to be the Mirage, which is, I feel like, almost the ultimate endgame option, because it's going to give you 95 magic damage per 1 point of deadly strike you have, and I feel like with this build you can completely get 100% deadly strike. I think you can get like pretty much on like every single piece. You can get like giant's knuckles and everything, and that's just going to give you insane amounts of flat damage, and I feel like with that you can combo it with the weird skill. I'm not entirely sure how that works. I think you need magic damage on your weapon to use that skill, and then it's like insanely broken. The other option is Azure Wrath, but yeah, we're not gonna see that item like ever. Now for the skill tree, we are putting 25 points into Mooncall, which is going to be your buff, which you need to keep up. It's going to give you a bunch of max life and weapon physical damage. Then we are going to be using Blade Storm, which is going to be our main clear ability. We're going to be spamming this as much as possible. It's going to send out a bunch of magic swords, which are going to home in on target. We take Determination and Fatal Focus. This is going to be your like physical choice, because there are 2 choices for you to take. You can either go with the physical route, which is going to give you deadly strike chance, but less max block chance, or you can go with more block, but then you're going to be dealing elemental damage. Then 10 points into Fusillade, which is going to be another buff, kind of like you attack with it once, and it's going to be turning out these things, which I have like no idea what these are, but those are going to be spamming out blades to nearby targets, and that's going to allow you to have some extra buffs, which is going to be, you get 30% max block chance while Fusillade is active. From the arcane part of the tree, we're just going to take a Raven Familiar and dump the rest of our points. From the reward tree, we're going to put 15 points into Baneblade, which is going to be our like main buff: block speed, fizz damage, insane life on melee attack, elemental damage in case you're going with the elemental tree, and a bunch of bonus defense. 5 points into Symbol of Esu to get 5 elemental absorb, and then 1 point into Force Blast because it can be like an easy debuff if you are in a little bit of a tough situation. From the Coven part of the tree, you can choose 2. I went with Living Flame for a bunch of max life and life regen, and 10 points into Vengeful Power, so we get 20% physical resistance and Crushing Blow. And here you can pick up Fire Dance as well, which is going to be another buff. This is Fire Dance. While you are inside of this radius, you're going to be dealing more weapon damage. And from the Master, we put 1 point into Melee Devotion for free 20% damage reduction, 10 points into Endurance for more life, and the rest of your points into Tenacity if you even need it. Now, as a little bit of a showcase, I'm going to be trying out Ascended Refocus. We're going to pick up Baneblade. We're gonna pick up the Beyblade. You can use Mana Shield. It's gonna drain your mana instead of your life. But if you're playing hardcore, I feel like it's gonna mess up your mana and then your life. So you're not gonna be attacking to get your life back. It really depends. I'm not really using it because it just drains my mana and then I don't have anything to attack. So I will just end up quitting the game instead of like actually doing anything. So once we get here, we put up our Fusillade and then just attack with Blade Storm. Make sure you keep up all your buffs, so you will deal the most amount of damage and you will not die in the end. I feel like my variation is pretty basic, like it doesn't have a lot of super strong components into it, but if you end up getting some end-tier rune, some endgame rune words, or maybe not stick with the set, you can be much more powerful in the end. It's a bit of a slow kill. It's not as strong as like a crossbow necromancer with some mid to end game fizz variation. That goes much faster, but I feel like it's a relatively tanky option to choose still. Yeah, but we got him still, and as much as I would like to showcase this build with Faustin Wheel, I just cannot use it. On single player, this character is from before patch 2.6, so I just cannot use the charm for some reason, but we can still do Duncraig. I feel like I don't even have Skosgelen unlocked with this build, which is pretty weird. I mean, I guess I didn't want to go there, but now this character is back to softcore. I might try it out, or maybe I might try this build with trading because I really want to try how this version works with Mirage. It would be pretty dope. That version feels just insanely strong.